But yeah, we did watch Barbie, and we have thoughts.
Oh, we do. Oh, we do. Okay, so first, tell me your thoughts, because I want to tell you an entire alternate plot that I've come up with.
I am looking forward to that. So, okay, my thoughts have kind of evolved since the last time we talked, and I am like, I'm curious. I'm curious what you're going to think with my thoughts. So, at first I thought the vibes were immaculate, of course.
Vibes immaculate.
Immaculate.
Costume design, 10 out of 10.
Chef's kiss, yeah. I absolutely loved that. I thought that the acting was really great. I thought that Kate McKinnon as Weird Barbie can get it.
Yes.
Any day of the week.
She was fantastic.
Oh my goodness. Like, of course, like, already I'm a huge fan of Kate McKinnon, and she just killed it. And I was so, I actually have a new complaint since the last time we talked about this, is that they didn't add in A.D. Bryant as another Barbie, because I love them together so much. And I wish that she was there. They're two of my girl crushes, and they're more powerful together. So I really wish they had been. But I don't get everything that I want. But I was kind of like, okay, so I have like conflicting thoughts. Like, I was kind of disappointed in the end because the status quo remained in both the world and Barbie Land.
Right.
So if you haven't seen the movie, Barbie goes to the real world and then comes back to Barbie Land with real people. And Barbie Land has been taken over by Ken, who has realized the patriarchy is a thing that's an option. And all of the chicks are brainwashed and whatever. They put it back to normal, but the Kens still want like a little bit of power. They want to like be on a lower court, maybe not the Supreme Court. And they're like, we'll let them have like the illusion of power, just like women have in the real world. And first off, I feel like that's really cynical to say.
Yeah.
Even if it is arguably true, I feel like it's pretty cynical to say. And I feel like it's also a pretty cynical ending.
Yeah. And I don't feel like, I don't feel like it's that true. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I totally agree. I stand by my score of 7 out of 10. I enjoyed the experience. Is it something I'm going to be excited to rewatch anytime soon? Probably not. Probably going to have to be in a very specific mood. And even then, probably I'll only watch the first half because that's where the vibes were at.
Yeah. Yeah, fair.
And then skip ahead to the great speech at the end and then just get it off there.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a big theme of just like knowing the world is broken, but just kind of like being okay with that, which, I mean, from a point of view of like stoicism, I guess is okay if it what gets you through the day. But I didn't come to the Barbie movie for that.
Exactly. This is Barbie. She can be whatever she wants to be. Therefore, she can make the world whatever she wants it to be. So, yeah, it's not the movie I thought I was going to watch. And the problem is when a movie is hyped up to this level, I know it's not going to live up to that hype. So I went in knowing that, and that helped the blow. Yeah. But, you know, me and my husband were sitting there at the end watching the credits go, and we were like, that's not how I expected that to go. Like, we were like, huh. Like a little confused, honestly. Yeah. So here's the movie I wanted to watch. All right. Opening credits, we keep them the same. The giant original Barbie just standing there while little girls smash their baby dolls against the rocks. I can't get enough of that. Yeah. So perfect. The introduction of Barbie Land. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Ken. Perfect. Oh, so cute. Immaculate. Love it. I want to live. I want to live there. I want to live there.
With equal rights Kens. With equal rights Kens.
With equal rights Kens, yes. Yeah. For sure. So, and I think that would have been a great way to like start introducing the issues that the movie was going to tackle. So like, there's a scene, where the Kens are beaching each other.
Gonna beat you off so bad.
That got me. I didn't understand that he said beach. I was like, did that just happen?
We were dying. That was like the one part that we were dying the most.
Oh, it was so good. But yeah, like the Ken ends up getting hurt and like this emergency doctor team Barbies come out with their little plastic thing. Oh, it's so good. But like that's where I would have loved to see like maybe one shot of one of the Kens just kind of looking longingly at the doctors and like maybe even picturing himself in a nurse or a doctor outfit because he wants more than just beach. You know what I mean? And just like start planting those seeds. And then of course the movie can continue as it was. I love Thoughts of Death Barbie.
I loved America Ferrera. I loved her daughter.
Yes.
Did you know that her husband in the movie is played by her real life husband?
No, I didn't realize
the husband
that.
who's learning like Spanish on Duolingo.
That's right. I forgot about him. He was so funny. That was
cute.
Amazing. I love like I don't know how to put it. It's like the doofy dad character, but like he's still loved.
Yes.
Like, you know, and that was great. The teenage daughter is embarrassed by him, but like that's what teenagers do. It was good. Anyway, so yeah, I like how the movie progressed. I love the joke of her going down on flat feet, you know, and having to go visit Weird Barbie and then going into the real world. And I'm okay with Ken going along for all that. By the way, shout out to Alan. Best freaking Michael Cera role I've seen in a while.
Yes. Oh my God. He was so Michael Cera.
Yes.
And I've heard it argued that he is like the non-binary representation in this movie. And I'm kind of down with that.
I'm down with that.
I'm down with that interpretation.
Yeah. It's hard to like, with how little he got, it's hard to like see that fully, but like, I'm sure.
Well, definitely in Barbie Land. Like if we take this into Barbie Land, he is the third gender of Barbie Land. I guess we've got a midge and we've got a few because if there's Barbies and Kens, then yes. The other genders
right. I see what you're saying.
Would be Alan and Midge. We strive to live in a world where a person being able to become pregnant is like the mystical third gender.
Mystical third gender.
And Skipper, I guess. And they didn't bring up like Stacy or the even littler one. I don't remember what she's called. I don't know.
I don't remember the whole
nesting
family.
Dolls all the way down.
All the way down to the weird plastic baby that pops out of Midge.
Yeah. I had a Midge. I liked my Midge. I bought her as like a teenager.
That's awesome. I love that they included those discontinued dolls. I think we both agree though the biggest disappointment was Earring Magic Ken.
Earring Magic Ken. They did him dirty. My beloved. They did do him dirty. And Danie has a great idea when she goes into how her movie is going to go about how they could have incorporated. Here's the thing. You may not know this from my multiple dolls that are in view while I'm streaming every time. But I'm kind of into dolls. And like, it is only kind of. There are people who are so much more like... There are people who are, like, even more into dolls than I'm into nail polish, and I respect them, and I love them, and they taught me everything I know. But, but yeah, I love dolls, so I knew about Earring Magic Ken, because the only thing I love more than dolls is being gay. And Earring Magic Ken was a Ken that was released in the 90s, and they do talk about him with his magic earring. And he has slicked back, bleached blonde hair, and like a mesh shirt.
Handsome.
He's so handsome. A mesh shirt and like a faux leather purple vest. And on the original doll, he has
a ring.
Yes, he did, Danie. He had a ring. And I love that for him. And it was just, you know, it was just a big thread, but it looked like metal necklace.
Yeah. And if you look at the anatomy of a Barbie doll and the size of a Barbie doll, it doesn't fit on a finger.
It doesn't. It
doesn't fit on an ear.
No, it doesn't.
It's definitely not a necklace.
But in the movie, they gave him just like a necklace that said Barbie on it.
Yeah, it just said Barbie. And that's a good point. The movie made some jokes. And they were good. They could have taken it just one step further and just went ahead and pushed the edge a little bit. They could have included, you know, the original necklace. accessory, we'll call
if
it.
they didn't want to talk about it, they could have just not mentioned it. Nobody would notice except for the random people like me going, they got his ring.
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't, yeah. So there was a few other times in the movie where it felt like they could have just pushed just a little bit further, and it would have been that much more funny and, making fun of themselves a little bit. Okay, anyway, Barbie and Ken go to the real world. They are introduced to the patriarchy. I think that went well. The roller skating scene with the outfits, that was great. Barbie, I'm feeling conscious of myself. Like, that was great.
Yes.
And Margot Robbie looks amazing. Like, so beautiful.
Oh, she does.
There's there one line towards the end of the movie where like they were talking about like Barbies don't have to look like Barbies and stuff like that, and they were like, Margot Robbie is the wrong actress to use this for.
Yeah,
she really does just look like Barbie. So yeah, I thought that was great. Where I really would have liked to see some radical changes is when they go into the Mattel building and realize that it's completely run by men. And there's a little bit of a joke throughout the whole thing, like Ken is just Ken, whatever. I like that joke. And if the board of directors started chasing after Barbie and just like ignored Ken because who cares about Ken, that would have been a nice plot setup for Ken to then go on his own journey that would make a little bit more sense. So for me, I would have liked Ken to stumble upon like the testing room or whatever with like a whole bunch of the Barbies and just start playing the patriarchy. And that's how patriarchy-ness would have gotten into Barbie Land. Because as it is in the movie, he just like comes back with a fur coat and says, this is the new thing we're doing, and they all just go along with it. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. So
yeah. They tried to explain it, but it was like, No,
but they explained it really well why Barbie became Thoughts of Death Barbie, because she was being played with that way by whatever the character name that America plays.
Yeah. By that chick.
So it would make sense if Ken is playing with the Barbies. That's how it gets introduced and stuff. Meanwhile, Barbie meeting Ruth, the creator of Barbie, I thought that was a beautiful scene.
That was great.
It was great. I love the line at the end where they're like, yeah, the ghost has her own office in the building or whatever. I thought it was
Yeah,
really good.
I love that.
And then making the board of directors more of the bad guy. Not in a cynical way, just in a capitalistic way. They're like, but Barbie makes money when we do XYZ. And she can be like, but Barbie can do so much more. And Ken's can do so much more. And showing that patriarchy hurts both genders, hurts everybody.
Yes.
Because the Kens back in Barbie Land are just as miserable as the Barbies, walking around as cowboys and horse-obsessed people when really they just want to be like a doctor or... I don't know, what's another random Barbie job? An astronaut,
Yeah.
They don't want to be pigeonholed either. And showing that it hurts both sides would have been really nice. But yeah, so yada yada, the chases, the character arcs, the big speech at the end wouldn't change that, but definitely changing, like, again, whatever, I gotta look it up. What is the character she plays? America... What's her last name for Barbie movie character? Gloria. I
never would have remembered that name.
No.
Ever.
And that's kind of a problem, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like she should have been more of a character. Like, she was a character, but I don't know. It would have been nice to explore her a little bit more. Because it kind of got all shoved up to the end of the movie. But yeah, seeing Gloria become a member of the board of directors, getting women involved in Mattel's leadership, and then in Barbie Land, give the Kens a dream house, okay? Give them, they don't have to be a dream house. Give them a mediocre mansion or whatever. Like, give them
Ken's mediocre mansion. I want to give Hillary a mediocre mansion.
Exactly. I couldn't think of another, what's it called with the letters? Alliteration, yeah, I was like, there's another. But, just seeing equality brought to both lands, because, honestly, little boys should have dolls too that aren't G.I. Joe. Like, the patriarchy hurts both. And yeah, Barbie's great for little girls and seeing that they can be anything, but little boys can be anything too, and little no gender things can be anything.
Allens can be anything.
Allens can be anything.
They don't just have to wear Ken's clothes because they fit.
Exactly. They don't just have to be Ken's buddy. But yeah, I actually do like that Barbie and Ken did not end up together at the end. But there was a part of me that was sad, and I know there was a part of you that was sad about that, too.
There was a big part of me that was sad that there was no romance in this movie at all. And yeah. I don't know if I'm in the minority, but I know that usually when I hear people talking about romantic subplots, they're saying they should not have included the romantic subplot. And, like, I feel like I'm the only person in the world that, liked the romantic subplot in the Hobbit movies. Do I think they should have been 3 movies? No. They should have taken out the romantic subplot and just made it 1. Yeah. However, if I'm going to be there in the theater, I want to see an elf and a dwarf be hot for each other, okay?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice. Yeah, I really wanted them. I wanted them to go and be in love in the first place and go to the real world. And honestly, like, I mean, I'm not trying to, like, nag anybody who's, you know, feeling like this is really refreshing, because, like, your opinion on it is absolutely valid. Mm-hmm. But, like, it would have been interesting to see them being in love, Ken seeing the patriarchy, and them, like, figuring out their relationship together.
Mm-hmm. In a healthy way.
Yeah.
Like, that is so challenging for a lot of couples to, like, navigate. That would have been nice.
It would have been great. I think there's a lot of things they should have done. And I will say that, like, the one thing that has come to my mind since seeing the movie, and, like, I don't like that this is, like, the contingency, because I don't like it when movies don't end right.
Yeah.
And then they say the next movie will fix it. But in this one, the one thing I will say is that the flaws in the ending do lend themselves to a natural next chapter of the Barbie franchise.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I will say about it. Is that if they had, like, fixed everything and made it go, like, oh, everything's really on the right track, then, you know, they would have to think of a new thing for the next Barbie movie. And it would be great if they really did pick it up, because, like, they are going to make another movie. This movie made more than $1 billion.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't think about that. I was like, no, I don't want there to be more. But, you know, actually, if it does fix some of the problems, all right.
I didn't think about it until I was describing it to my mom. And then I was like, but actually, actually they could do this. So, like, if they do another movie and they address the issues and it's kind of, and more so than even, like, fixing the issues, just the acknowledgement of Barbie and the Barbies and the Kens and whatever, and America Ferrera and her family and stuff, and Barbie in the real world, going, hey, mimicking the injustice here in Barbie land towards the Kens, that's not good enough for either side. That's not good enough for the real world or the Barbie world. Let's start deprogramming.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't happen, then I'll be pretty disappointed. But I'm already pretty disappointed. So
yeah.
I really like when you bring up Ken playing with Barbies, though, I just see all this lost potential that they could have had, and consistency that they didn't have. Ugh.
Yeah. No, I really liked the first half, and I thought it was pretty solid, and then the second half just kind of lost me. The Mattel guys basically became non-characters. They were just there. I was like, what's the point of this?
It was just Will Ferrell, Will Ferrelling, which I love. But
that was great, but, like,
make him Will Ferrell in a direction.
Yeah, give him somewhere to go. You know, and I still don't fully understand, like, the justice and legal system of Barbie Land. and why it exists if they're controlled by the people playing with them. I don't know. It got a little wacky at the end there, but maybe a sequel could fix it. I do want to swing back to what you said about, like, you feel like you're alone in the romantic subplot desire, or even main plot. Because I feel the same. I saw, I'm not sure what it was, a TikTok or something, people talking about a live action Snow White, but this Snow White isn't going to fall for the prince. She's going to be after being the queen and the power that she wants and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Good for her. I've seen that movie already. I'm tired of it, honestly. Like, you said one time, and it's so powerful, I think, feminism is about choice. It's about opening up every single possible choice for a woman, or anybody, really. And, you know, I want to see someone choose romance because they want it.
Especially when the alternative is just being a girl boss.
Yeah. Like, why? Like, why? You gotta be lonely and powerful, or, like, subserviently in love? No! That's not a modern woman. It's really frustrating as someone, I love romance stories. That's basically the only kind of anime and webtoon I read. And, like, you go on the webtoon subreddit and it's constantly, it's just romance bashing and stuff like that. And it's like, I get it. Like, there's a lot of bad ones. There's a lot of, like, super cliche ones that's like, really, we're doing this again? Mm-hmm. But there's also some charming ones and some nice stories. And I'm reading this one right now. It's about this frail little princess. She's not a princess, but whatever. Some royal line. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Who was, like, kind of abused through her childhood and made to feel lesser or whatever. And this knight falls in love with her anyway. And, like, he just thinks the world of her, and she just can't get over her own view of herself. And it's about, like, her journey that through his love, she starts to see herself in a new light. And it's freaking beautiful, okay? Like, it's freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
I just want to see some more of that in the world.
Yeah, I agree. I love that kind of stuff. And I think that if you choose to not be in a romantic relationship, if that doesn't make you feel empowered or anything, then you need to do what you want to do with your own life.
It's about choice.
It's about choice, and I choose romance. And I will
kiss, fall in love.
Exactly. I will kiss, fall in love till the day I die, okay?
Mm-hmm. So sue me if I want to see my Barbie and Ken get together. Maybe not the main Barbie and Ken, but a Barbie and Ken. Just one little couple.
Maybe I want too much. I wanted them. I think they're very cute together.
They're so cute.
I wanted to see them smash their faces together. Yeah. Like real Barbies. Now kiss. That was me in the Barbie movie. Now kiss.
Now kiss.
Yeah, it was really the Ken storyline in the Barbie movie was really hard because he just was not likable in that second half of the movie.
And there was so much of him in the Barbie movie. Again, I want equality for Kens, but it's the Barbie movie. He was supposed to be B-plot.
Yeah, it was just, you know, and I've read some people just like in random post places like, oh, if the Ken plotline in Barbie made you uncomfortable and seeing him dismissed made you uncomfortable, then like think about whatever. And like I think it's for like men who are uncomfortable with his treatment in the first part of the movie, which I was also somewhat uncomfortable with. But it's like, no, it was really the no holds barred misogyny that made me uncomfortable. I don't know about you.
Yeah, he went hard on them. I don't know where he learned all that in like the 5 hours they were in the real world.
Yeah.
Like, how did he absorb that much?
Yeah.
Where did you go, Ken?
At the end of the day, it really does read like there's a lot of these stories out there, like the Rent musical and the Rent musical, like Rent, Rent, the musical, not the payment.
525,000. Yeah, that one.
Well, it's like that movie's all about like, oh, we're bohemian, but then their parents are still calling them and like offering them money and stuff, and it's like, you know, how bohemian are you? Like, this is a fraud. And I feel like this is just another one of those cases where it's like, oh, this is so like subversive. And it's like, okay, but it's like 2 decades too late in its subversion.
Yeah.
We're like well past that now, but I guess the general audiences aren't. Like,
right? I'm like, who is this for at the end of the day? Because I thought it was for me, but I guess not.
Yeah, but I give it a 6 out of 10. I give it a slightly lower score. But the vibes, though, they were good.
The vibes were pretty great.
The vibes were pretty good. Like, I'm never gonna be mad about it too much because I've gotten to enjoy just Barbie mania, and
yes,
I've been experiencing Barbie mania for decades. So,
so to see it like everywhere, it feels good, man.
It does feel good. It does feel good. As a goth poser, it's always been hard for me to not find enough Barbie merch in black. So just having a lot of options has been nice.